Uppy, uppy, uppy. It's one funny morning. I'm Dana Blizzard, and it's too early in the morning. This is the dumbest show in the whole world.
From Monday
to Friday. Sometimes on Saturdays.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
Dean stinks.
You never know what's gonna happen.
That's your Dateline voice?
I don't know.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't.
It's not a chicken leg. This is a chicken leg.
Look at that manhole cover on my face.
Not a bad rendition of me. Hold on.
We know your brother. We'll give you a ride to school or whatever.
That's called
our
murder
small
in New Jersey.
He was a lot
Like what is?
with his everything.
Oh.
What's outside your Puerta de Clima?
That's Stellan! Yeah!
Hi, my $5 friends. $6.50 if you're Canadian. Here's La Five.
And OG La 5.
On assignment from Dina on Fun Canadian Facts. Here's my maple dip.
And my Boston cream.
And our double. Take it away, Dina.
Uppy, uppy, uppy.
I love OG La 5. I don't know what a double is. I know. I'm shocked. I'm here for the very beginning, Nancy. Good morning. I love that La 5 is going live-ish from Canada with all things Canadian in preparation for our trip to Quebec. La 5, you did a great job. OG La 5 did a great job. I don't know what a double. Yeah, that's what I said. What's a double? Can you play it again? Sure. Let's play it again because it's adorable.
Hi, my $5 friends. $6.50 if you're Canadian. Here's La Five.
And OG La 5.
On assignment from Dina on Fun Canadian Facts. Here's my maple dip.
And my Boston cream.
And our double. Take it away, Dina.
Uppy, uppy, uppy.
It's still adorable. Uppy, uppy, uppy. I love it. Double is double cream, double sugar. That I would drink because you said sugar. La 5. It's 2 creams, 2 sugar. Oh, I didn't know. I am not a coffee drinker. Now, if you said double, that'd be double the bourbon, double the alcohol, double the sleep, double the days you lay in bed. I know. Adorable. Double is coffee from Tim Hortons. 2 shots of sugar, 2 shots of... It has to be specifically for... Was that a Tim Hortons cup? It probably was. That's all you drink, right? Do you guys have Dunkin' Donuts in Canada? I wonder. We made another opening with Tim's. Okay. Adorable. I just love that your dad is all in on it. And you're like, here, hold this coffee. Go sit over there. Here are your lines. Uppy, uppy, uppy. Say them very clearly. What a good Canadian bourbon was. All right, that's good. We should also know that as well. Yeah. We have other coffee places as well, but not as popular, right, Joanne? Because do we have Tim Hortons? I think we do, like in the Midwest, but we only know about Wawa here. We don't have any Tim Hortons in the Northeast. Not that I know of. So it's just not, and you guys don't have Wawa. You have Starbucks. Okay. We do have a Starbucks. Okay. Got it. Well, good morning. It's Wednesday, y'all. We made it. Not yet, La 5. Give him some time and some bourbon, and you never know. He may be rolling down a boardwalk any minute. I found out Quebec has Krispy Kreme, but not Dunkin' Donuts. There is one, Adi? That's really funny. She said there's one. There's a Tim Hortons in Stratford. There's going to be one open in Pennsauken. So weird. Yeah, you guys would love Wawa. There's a Tim Hortons in Rhode Island. I feel like, so like you're mentioning them, but there's like maybe 6 total that you've all mentioned. I feel like Tim Hortons there is like our Wawa. Like before, I don't know if it was like this with your Tim Hortons, but before the internet and before MapQuest, all your directions were like, all right, you're going to drive 6 miles. You're going to see a Wawa on the left. Make a left there. You're going to continue down for about 4 more miles, jug handle. The second Wawa, make a right. It just, everything was Wawas. That's how prolific. It is. Yeah, it is. It is. And our Dunkin' Donuts is very similar. So we apparently have them. I have never noticed. Because, girl, it ain't Wawa. Tim Hortons was all over New England, but most of them closed. That's what I mean. It's not the same. There's not the same love. And I don't know. Although, is everybody seeing a ridiculous amount of Raising Cane's? It's like the new Wawa. I'm like, girl, all they do is chicken. I will giggle every time that cuckoos. Every single time. It's like a little spark of joy. Yeah. Like take a ride at the second tip. Yeah. Is it soggy? Is it good chicken? Janice says it's soggy chicken. I just don't see how it could be better than Chick-fil-A other than being open on Sunday. I can't eat there because it's all gluten. But girl, if I could. Girl, if I could. Everywhere, Kezia. Like every other block, there's a Raising Cane's. Jill, it's delayed. Jill, it's a little delayed for 8:30. That is supposed to ring on the 8:30 mark, so it rings about 8 minutes late. That's because I want the other one to ring, and then I don't want them to compete for my attention. It's so funny. My dog stopped dead in her tracks when that cuckooed. CFA has gluten-free buns. Chick-fil-A, oh, I know. It does. But it doesn't have gluten-free good chicken, only grilled. It's fine chicken. It's fine. Is it fried with that yummy crispy outer? No. It's not. But Raising Cane's sauce is yummy on their chicken strips. I believe you. All right, Kathy, we're thinking about you. Cooks everything in peanut oil. I don't know what they cook it in. Isn't the purpose of a clock to give you an accurate time? No. No. Yeah. No, I did. So far, I saw 2 people I know on Elsbeth. We had Adam Ferrara here a couple weeks ago, and then another very funny comedian, Julia Scotti. She played, I don't know if anybody saw it. I think it was the most recent episode. And they call like a hardware store. And they're on the phone with the husband. And the comedian Julia Scotti, very funny, is in the background. And she's yelling. Down by my way, there's a Chick-fil-A, a Raising Cane's, and a KFC all in the same block. Bad time to be a chicken. And which one is the busiest, Tim, of all? I'm going to say Raising Cane's is only because it's new, but I'm sorry. You cannot convince me that the Chick-fil-A drive-thru hasn't tapped into some type of magic. They're going to cure cancer. It'll be like, we have a cure for cancer. We're coming from Chick-fil-A. Like, do you ever look at like other drive-thrus? You're like, you can't even compete. Did you ever try to go to a drive-thru of anything, a bank, anything? And the whole time I'm sitting there going, they need to run this like Chick-fil-A. This is ridiculous. I'm just letting you know. It is. I don't know how they do it. Oh my gosh. Kevin last night was so funny. If you missed it, we had Kevin James Thornton on, and he showed up in his underwear. Now, I don't know what today's guest is going to show up in. But I don't know where they're getting all their chickens, Judy. But it's coming together. If you want gluten-free fried chicken, there's a restaurant in Denver. All I have to do is get to Denver, Mary Ellen. Done. Always. Okay. So Jason and I went to a Chick-fil-A months and months ago. I don't know if you guys know this about Jason. It's a secret. He loves Arby's. He's the only one on the planet that of all the options on the table, if we're mostly at a rest stop, because you don't see a lot of Arby's. I don't know, Canadians, do you know even what Arby's is? It's a roast beef place. It wasn't gonna make it. But he loves Arby's. LaFive's like, I love Arby's. Okay. It had its time. It had its time. And it didn't progress. It was like, we're Arby's, we got the meats, that was it. So there was an Arby's next to a Chick-fil-A, and we pull into this parking lot. Lorene probably knows what I'm talking about. Pull into this parking lot. And the Chick-fil-A parking lot is jam-packed. Can't even move. People coming in from all sides of the building. Just the drive-through crazy town. Then we look at the Arby's. Nobody there. He says, come on, let's go to Arby's. Nobody's there. It'll be so quick. I go, well, that should tell you something. He was like, what do you mean? I said, well, you can't even get into this parking lot. So it probably means there's better choices over here. He was like, I don't think that's what it means. I go, there's one person in the parking lot, and I think that's the guy that works there. He was like, no, you're not reading it right. I go, it's lunchtime on a Saturday, and there are one person in there. And he was like, yeah, there it is. Loving our roast beef sandwich. Yeah. So this was months ago, Lorene. So I was out and I'm driving by that same Chick-fil-A not long ago. And I stop in the parking lot. I get myself something. I'm coming out. And then I noticed that Arby's was closed. So I took a picture of it. And like the drive-through, all the pictures are missing. Like it was desolate. And I said, I don't want to ruin your day. I think I sent a picture of the Arby's closed. And I just wrote my condolences. I knew this was going to hit him hard. He wasn't probably ready. And he wasn't. And he said, this is the beginning of the downfall of America. That was the answer. All right, now hold on, because the drywall guy just got here. Lulu, come talk to everybody. She's not going to do that. Hold on. Tim Grill, talk to everybody. So I'm in a meeting for the next 45 minutes, but let me talk to you real quick. don't know who's still up there. And that took a long time. Oh, Booby was here. I should have turned the camera. Are you guys still here? Oh, there's Don. Okay, Don is here. He's like, what kind of weird show has a show and she's not even here when we show up? Don, that sometimes happens. I don't want to say it never happens, but my house is slightly falling apart. I'm just going to bring Don on. Let's just talk to him. Welcome, everybody. Let's start the show again. That was longer than I thought. The kitchen's not great. Let me just, good. We were talking amongst ourselves. Good. You know what? Everybody has to do their part. This is not just me doing a show. This is a community show. And so thank you all for stepping in. It's the whole thing. All right. Well, let's get to our fabulous guest today because he's hilarious and he's a lot smarter than all of us. So that we'll all be smarter by the end of this. So what do you get when you cross an engineer with a stand-up comedian? You get Don McMillan. This former chip designer has been doing his one-of-a-kind PowerPoint-driven comedy shows for audiences for over 20 years. He graduated where? From Stanford University with a master's degree in electrical engineering. Who feels dumb now? He went to work at AT&T Bell Labs, where he was part of the team that designed the world's first 32-bit microprocessor. He then moved to Silicon Valley, where he helped launch the startup company VLSI Technology. Then after 15 years in the tech world, he was like, I would like to be poor. So he quit his job and became a stand-up comedian. That year, he won $100,000 as the comedy grand champion on Star Search. What? He's been seen on The Tonight Show, HBO, Comedy Central, and these days he spends most of his time writing and performing custom corporate comedy shows for companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Ford Motors, and ExxonMobil. He has performed more than 800 corporate shows in the last 20 years. He was named the #1 corporate comedian by the CBS Business Network, and he will be at Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia on March 25th. Please help me welcome to the show, Don McMillan. Hey, Don.
Hey, good morning.
So listen, Don, when we invite people on the show, I'm normally there for it. Now, I've been on since 8:30, but then the drywallers showed up, and then I had to take the drywallers through to the kitchen that I'm currently taking apart. So it was a whole thing. So thanks for joining us.
What was funny for me is when I logged on, all I saw was the dog. I'm like, well, this is an interesting show.
Is she up here? Yeah, that's Ruby.
That is one smart dog. He has his own podcast. Yeah. Man, that's amazing.
Yes, no, it is. She is very popular, Ruby. So she's got her own morning show and thousands of people watch it.
It's a pupcast. I just came up with that.
Yes, yeah, that's yours. You can have
it. Thanks. I was hoping you would take it, actually. I wasn't real proud of that.
So where are you joining us from?
I'm in Morro Bay, California, which is right on the central coast, halfway between San Francisco and LA. So I'm in nowhere, basically. It's very quiet.
And what's that behind you?
That is over that way. That is that's here. I'll swing it over. Hopefully you can see that. For nerds out there, that is the TARDIS from Doctor Who, but it's not an actual TARDIS because it's a time machine and that doesn't actually exist. Because if it did, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be like 20 years ago. But yeah, that's what that is. It's one of my nerd cred, some of my nerd cred right there.
I love it. It looks like it's painted on the wall. Is it painted?
It does, doesn't it? It's not. It's a complete. I'm near Hollywood, and I fooled you with my backstage design. That's what it is.
So you have like a life-size real TARDIS in your house?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's just a. Here, look. I'll show you. Wait.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
It's just paper.
Oh. Yeah.
I forgot I can do stuff live.
Hold on one second. Is that William? It's in the back. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to talk on the grass then? Because the grass is pretty hard.
It should be fine. Yeah.
Should be fine?
Should be. Just be careful.
Okay, because I'm going to pull closer to the house.
Yeah, try that. Just be careful.
All right, this is pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here's what's up, Don. Let me just give you Okay.
I swear to God, I feel like I'm at home. Well, I am at home. It's pretty amazing. I think, hey, wait, the guy doing my windows just came in. I gotta go.
Yeah. That's how my life is. Now, listen, how would you feel if a man who was doing drywall on your property pulled up real close to your house, but the driveway doesn't come that far? Would that make you mad if your wife said, yeah, you can pull up on the lawn? Was that the right decision or the wrong?
The lawn. Oh, my wife would not be happy with that.
I'm fine with it. I was wondering if lawn seems to be a dude thing. Men
Oh, yeah.
are weird about their
Now,
yard.
my wife and the front of the house, it might as well be her face.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would be a problem if there were tire tracks on
Yeah.
her face.
No, and I agree with you, but this is the back of the house.
Oh, that's okay then. No, she wouldn't care then. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't care. I wouldn't care either.
No, I don't care either because that'll fix itself. Our yard is already filled with poop anyway because of these dogs. So to me, it's a non-issue, Don.
I know what that's like.
I'm sure this is exactly how all the interviews you do start, right?
I normally have maintenance workers. If I don't have any, I hire some to come in during my show. I find it really adds to the air of reality.
It is. It's a little bit of reality. Yeah, no, this show we've been doing for 5 years, every day.
Wow.
And it is the stuff that like actually happens in your life. And you're like, yeah, this is what life is actually like.
So I grew up in the Philly area, and I can't tell out looking out your window, but where are you in Philly?
I don't want to say. I'll tell you
Okay.
later because people will
Tell me the county. How about that? Tell me the county. Doesn't know her county. Okay. I can tell you're politically motivated. Okay.
I'm lucky I know where this house is located.
Are you in Pennsylvania or New Jersey?
I am in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'm just north of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. I grew up in Cherry Hill. My parents were from South Philly. All my relatives live in Northeast Philly and in the suburbs of Philly. So yeah, I know the area really well.
Yeah. So here's what's so funny, Don. So I've been in South Jersey my whole life, right? And when you're on the road and like where we lived was this tiny little town. So whenever I was on the road, nobody knows the tiny little towns like you're saying, right? So if I was on the road and somebody said, oh, you live in Jersey, where do you live? I would just say Cherry Hill, right?
Yeah.
People at least have heard of Cherry Hill. And this would be my lie for a long time. So I'm somewhere and they say, where do you live? And I said, oh, I live in Cherry Hill. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm from Cherry Hill. And I was like,
uh-oh.
Are you on the east side or the west side? And I said, let me pick the trashier side, right? Because she's probably in the booze. I go, oh no, I'm on the west side. She goes, I'm on the west side. She goes, whereabouts are you on the west side? And I go, over by the fire station. She goes, I'm by the fire. You know what? I don't live there. I don't.
That's
I gets up to the whole thing. She goes, what? I go, I don't live in Cherry Hill. I actually made the whole, and then I just sounded crazy. As I'm on, I go, I don't. She goes, are you on the east side? I go, no, not at all. Not even close to Cherry Hill. Like I don't live there. I made the whole thing up because most people barely know what Cherry Hill is. She was like, what's your street address? And I was just like, now I sound like a lunatic. So
people from the Philly area will appreciate this. I actually went to Cherry Hill East, which sounds like the high end, right?
Yes.
But my parents moved there before it was Cherry Hill. It was actually called Delaware Township originally. Yeah, that's how long they've been there. It didn't change the name to Cherry Hill till like 1962. So I went to East, but I hate saying that because I had rich friends, but I lived in a two-story, split level house, 2,000 square feet. It wasn't rich. So when I say when people say what side, I lie and say west. So I don't think I'm some rich kid.
Yeah, why are we all lying and pretending we live on the west side of Cherry Hill?
It's not that bad. It's not like it's horrible. It's not Camden.
I
apologize if you're from Camden, but it's not Camden.
I know it is funny. I mean, it's still beautiful, but you're right.
It's still really nice. It's just not uber. It's not the rich side.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So yeah. So listen. So here's what I got from your bio, Don.
All right.
You grew up. You're very smart.
By the way, it's 6 a.m., so I'm drinking coffee. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, you should. You're super smart. You go to Stanford. It's amazing. You make microprocessors. Blah blah. You have money. You have a house, a lovely family, What part of you was like, this is a waste of my time? I'm not contributing. I should go sling jokes. And were you married at the time? No, because
No wife would let me do that.
no
No.
wife would have agreed to that. Okay, so I just wanted to be clear because that does sound crazy.
No.
So you're a single man making a lot of money in Silicon Valley. I don't know what it was called before. Maybe it was just called California. And then you decide, I'm leaving. How does that go?
Well, two of your assumptions were incorrect. One, I was not changing the world. I was designing computers. Okay. And after about 8 years of doing that, because I was pretty old when I was in my 30s when I quit, became a full stand-up comic. I realized at some point after designing many computers that the world didn't need another computer. There's plenty of people design. I was not changing. I wasn't one of these people designing the next heart replacement or solving world hunger. I went, I could do anything, and I was burned out. I tell people this all the time. Engineers are the assembly line workers of the information age. We're just sitting there making chips and computers faster and faster and faster because people want them more and more. And after a while, you just go. I felt like Lucy with I had stuff in my mouth. And I said, I can't do this the rest of my life. And I started doing comedy at night just for fun. And then I went, screw this. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Yeah. Who the hell cares what I do? And I quit my job. And I swear to God, my boss smiled and went, that's great. I'm so happy. And I went, something's wrong with this.
Aren't you going to miss me? No.
No. I'm like, okay, I think it's the right decision.
Yeah. So now how long from the time that you quit your job? So, I mean, I'm a comic as well. It takes years, decade to even find your footing. So how long from the time that you quit and decided you're going to do this, do you win Star Search? Because that would have been the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, it wasn't long. It was only about 2 years because I quit my day job in 91. I've been doing this a long time because I won the San Francisco comedy competition that year.
Wow.
Which at the time was a pretty big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as big as when Robin Williams did it and Dana Carvey did it, but it still was, in the Bay Area in particular, it made you a headliner.
Yeah.
And so when I won the San Francisco comedy competition, I'd been doing engineer by day, comedy by night for about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years.
Wow.
And not sleeping and not dating, which is why I could quit my job because I had no time to date. I had a job and I was doing comedy full time, or close to full time, and then once I became a headliner, I went, well, if I'm ever going to quit, I'm a headliner now. I can work, and I quit, and I always said I'll go back. Well, it's been 33 years. I can go back if it doesn't work out still.
Wow. And how did you meet your wife? Was she at a gig?
You'll love this. Love this. My wife, when I first met my wife, was 23. I think she was 23. We didn't start dating until she was 30. So I met her long before I started dating her. I first met her. I should say I didn't really have a relationship with her until I was about 28 or 29 when I really got to know her.
Right.
But she lived in St. Louis and booked all the Funny Bone comedy clubs. Yeah.
Here's my cuckoo clock.
Wow. I thought that was my wife's sensor going off. Goes, she's talking about me. She's talking about me.
So I have an affinity. My grandmom had a cuckoo clock when I was growing up. And we just got it. And my friend Jim here fixed it. And now it cuckoos on the hour. So
Jim, the same guy who's doing your
that's William.
Oh, William. I need to get your list of your workers. I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. Did you know that somebody who has an affinity for cuckoo clocks and either collects or fixes them is called a horologist?
That would have been my second guess.
You're welcome.
Cuckoo would have been my first guess, but
no,
the second one would have been my second guess. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of room in my brain I will never be able to replace. I can't get that out of my head. So
you're welcome. So you meet Laura, you don't actually connect until years later.
Yeah, and she started working for my then manager as his assistant, and that's when we started working together. That was about a year before we started dating. And then she was booking all my stuff. I do a lot of corporate, so she was doing a lot of my corporate booking, and so we'd talk every day. So we got to be really good friends. And then the day she quit, the new assistant, a young guy, goes, "Go ahead, ask him." In the background, I was on a phone call. "Go ahead, ask him." And she's like, "Shut up, Todd. Shut up. What are you? Shut up, Todd." And I go, "What's Todd saying?" He goes, "Well, I was going to ask you to lunch, but Todd ruined it." And I went, "No, let's go to lunch." And then we started dating right after that.
Oh, that's a beautiful story, Don. We love to hear those stories. Hey, do you know Kevin James Thornton? Do you know him?
No, I do not. I know Kevin James, but I don't think he's Kevin James.
Yeah. You're going to love. So Kevin James Thornton was our guest last night for Tipsy Tuesday. He's at Helium 2 days before you. Really funny guy, does a lot of stuff on TikTok. Why did I tell you that?
We talked about getting married and how I met my wife.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Either way, a lot of people are asking if you have pants on. He didn't have pants on for the interview last night.
I have shorts. Oh, sorry, you saw my stomach there. I do have some kind of pants, yes.
Okay, yeah. I think
and by the way, if nerds know this, there are cargo shorts. I only wear cargo. I have cargo shorts, cargo pants, cargo underwear. I have cargo everything.
Okay, so I watched your clip and if you get a chance, you have to watch this. The difference between a dork, a nerd, and a geek. And it's impeccable the way you have outlined.
Thank you. I am the #1 Venn diagram comedian. I've been voted by Venn Monthly. I have more Venn diagrams in my act than anybody else. People are going, "What the heck is Venn diagrams? They're funny, trust me." John Venn had no idea the comedic tool that he invented.
Was his name John for real?
John Venn. He was born in 1834 in England and invented the Venn diagram. I do a salute to him in my act. That's why I know all this. I don't just know it.
Keep it up there all the time.
And most people, it's funny. People go, "You're so nerdy." We learned Venn diagrams in like 4th grade, right? 5th grade. That's not something you learn in college. They don't teach you Venn diagrams in college.
Yeah. No. And I loved the, I don't know what kind of diagram you call it, but it was how to figure out if Laura's right, your wife. Laura.
Oh, that's, I'm getting a lot of grief for that, by the way. I'm going to ask your opinion.
What?
Yeah, I get, for people who haven't seen the bit, it's what's called a Boolean logic table, which, oh God, if I explain the whole thing, that'll be the rest of my interview.
Yeah.
But, it's how you design computers using computer logic. And I explain, the point of my bit is, don't be a right fighter. Just even if you're right, just go, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong. Let's just get past this. That's the point of the bit.
Yeah.
And all these angry men are calling me going, "Screw that, happy wife, happy life. Nothing that gets you is nothing. I'm like, calm down, buddy. You married the wrong person. That's your problem. That's not my problem. Swear to God, I'm getting all this grief."
It is really funny. You know what? So I'm divorced about 3 years ago, and living here with my boyfriend.
Oh, I have to go. I'm sorry, I'm Christian.
I'm out. But it's so funny because I think that, if a relationship isn't maybe so great, there's a lot of who's right, who's wrong happening, right? So now I'm dating this guy, Jason, who's lovely. We've been dating for a couple of years. And he's so funny because, as a woman, I don't know if you know this, Don, but we like to be right. And so I know it's shocking. I wanted to prepare you. And so we were fun. And it was something so silly. It was something super dumb that we were like discussing. And I'm like, and I get real puffed up. And I'm like, "And you're wrong because of this reason, and I'm all fired up for a fight. And he goes, "You're right. You're right." And I go, "You're not even going to fight me on it." He was like, No, you're right. And then he walked away, and I literally didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, "Are you being serious that I'm right, or are you just?" Because it feels like he's like, "No, you're." And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do when he lays down his sword. I'm like, Oh, so I've never been in a relationship where people are like, "Okay, you're right." I'm like, it's very off-putting.
My wife and I, and because I really am a nerd, not just because I have a TARDIS.
Yeah, it's a big part.
I love learning about stuff. So we went through this marriage therapy thing. I can't remember the man's name now. He did a statistical analysis of what makes marriages happy, and then he ran seminars up in Seattle. I'm blanking on his name. Damn, I hate getting old. Anyway, one of the things he taught us, which is we've both used since we took his thing, is when you're in that right fighting thing, when you're both right, I'm right, you're right, I'm right, right. One person, either one of you, if you agree, has to break that thing, and you do it by doing something out of character. In his seminar, they teach you to do this, like that. Just because the other person goes, what the hell was that? And you go, oh, we're in that place where we're both right fighting. We need to take a break. We're not getting anywhere. Huh. And it really works. And it's kind of what Jason just did.
Yes, he does. He won't do it.
Everybody wants to be right. Okay. It's not just women and men. It's just it. And if you give it some time, you go, all right, I was maybe fighting to be too right. Is that possible?
Maybe. I'm not me, but I can see where you might. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get it. But I'm telling you, I knew the world was in a bad place when the most middle of the road comics, is getting grief from like both sides going, you can't say that. You can't say that. I'm like, leave me alone. They're jokes. Go away.
Yeah. No. Now, the thing I see on Instagram now is when people are fighting. So maybe at this thing, it was supposed to like put your tongue out, people. Now, apparently, if you're fighting with your person, you're supposed to just get naked.
Yeah. Well, that'll work for men. I'll tell you that much.
And it's almost exclusively men. It'll be like women. I just had a fight with my husband or boyfriend, and then they'll just come out and they're naked, and then the fight's over.
Yeah,
that doesn't work in church.
My eyesight is gone, so it's not going to work for me. I can't see squat anymore.
There's that's happening. I don't know how they do that in like colder climates.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we're not fighting anymore, but I have frostbite. That's nice.
Right. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, a man suggested that. Exactly.
Well, anybody who thinks marriage isn't work, I talk about this every now and then in my act. When I get a particularly nerdy crowd, I go, do you realize that Einstein, what's his name? The guy in the wheelchair. I'm having problem. Well, it's 6 a.m. I should say.
Oh yeah, it is 6 a.m. Guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy with the movie. They were both divorced. Okay, two of the smartest men in the world both couldn't make a marriage work. And at some point, their wives looked at them and went, what are you, an idiot? Okay, that's how hard marriage is. That's how hard. Marriage is not easy. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
Yeah. No, but it's funny because now that I kind of went through the other side, which was like the divorce part and then the dating. The dating is not easy. Stephen Hawking, thank you.
Thank you, whoever said that. Thank you.
Yeah. The dating thing, you could do an hour on the dating. It's just, it's a lot. But I think, and Candace said marriage is hard. I think it's that's why I think that when you talk about, Laura in your stand-up, Nate Bargatze does a great job talking about his wife in his stand-up, like being able to find the humor and the funny and these dumb, silly arguments that everybody's having, I think is really important because you think that you're the only ones having these fights. And the reality is everybody's having the same fight. Yeah. And,
I read this great statistic. John Gottman was the guy who I was talking about. He wrote the great books on marriage and statistical analysis.
Okay.
And I met him. He's a really great guy. And he has this marriage. They're such a funny marriage. He's a really quiet, nerdy guy, and she's really outgoing. And you can see that they're very different and that they get along and they do the seminars together. And I love this is he did all the statistical analysis about happy marriages and the behaviors in happy marriages.
Right.
But then he didn't do anything with it. And his wife goes, you're not going to share this information? So she's the one who organized the seminars and all that. And I'm like, oh, that is hysterical that he didn't even occur to him that he could actually share it with people.
Yeah, that it would be helpful. So one of the nerdy things, so I have a degree in biology. So I was on the science track for a little while. And then I got a master's in gerontology because who doesn't want that? And then I was like, I should be a comedian. So I was in the little science thing for a little while. But one of my favorite things that comes out every year is the Ig Nobel Awards. Do you know about the Ig Nobel?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Very funny.
Don. So I made friends with them. We have them on our morning show every year, and they
Nice.
tell us about the awards that are coming up and who's won and all whatever. And then this past year, I went to the awards in Massachusetts, and you
You
can
host them. You'd be a great host for them.
Oh, I know. But the guy who does it, Mark, who is the one that runs it, he hosts it, and it's fantastical. And it's the nerdiest thing you've ever been to. And I think it was on MIT's campus.
Wow,
And,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was there were so many Nobel laureates in the room, and and they're all doing just like dorky humor. And I was there for all of it. I was like, this is the best thing in the whole.
It must be very funny because they're probably telling jokes that I or you probably wouldn't get. Stuff like, can you believe he used 2 sigma as his standard point? Oh God, that's hysterical.
That's what I thought it was going to be, but they were actually really very down to earth. And that was the thing, is that, these awards, are for real practical. Some of them are real practical. The one I remember is like, what is the best way to transport a hippopotamus? Is it upside down or on its side? Not so practical, but for people that are moving hippopotami, it's, I guess, a good thing. And so, a lot of them were like really like down to earth science, and they really talk very plain. Like they can talk for 2 minutes really smart, and then another 2 minutes they have to talk very plainly. So it was very accessible. I just loved it. It just I could nerd out on it.
That sounds like I would really enjoy that.
Yeah, we should go.
Invite me someday. I'd love to.
Yeah. Oh, I'll totally get you an invite, and we'll go and just be nerds together. And so how was the transition for you? I mean, it seems like you're a clean comic, right? Do you ever say curse words? No.
What was that?
Do you ever say curse words?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I've done so many corporates that I've kind of trained myself not to.
Yeah.
But when I'm in a comedy club, I'll just let the words come out. I won't have that sensor running in my head. And I don't, whatever is proper to the emotion, I'll say it. I tend not to say I can't even say it now because my sensor's working, but I won't even say I don't say the F word, but I'll say crap and shit and,
Yeah.
And I'll do sexual innuendo jokes, and I'll say penis. And I have a couple of, I have my favorite penis joke is, you're an engineer if you know the length of your penis in inches and centimeters. That's how you're an engineer. And I'm a solid 9, but I'm not going to tell you the units. I love that joke. I can't tell it at corporate, but I love it because, it's important to learn the metric system, ladies, because there's a huge difference between.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know. The Canadians here do know the metric system, and they try to push it on us, but
yes,
they know.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say it makes a lot more sense, and that's all. I'll just drop it there. You're right. You're right, Dina. You're right.
You're done. Now, so how long have you been doing stand-up? It's
35 years.
35 years. So it's so funny, and I don't know if people ask you this, but I remember somebody saying, like, when will you retire? And I was like, I don't know. I
get that all the time.
Do you feel like you'll ever retire?
No. Why?
That's what I said. I go, what do I do?
What do I do? And how much fun is it when you've been doing it as long as you and I have done it, where I actually enjoy my time on stage. People think it's a job. Don't tell anybody at a comedy club this, but I would do it for nothing.
Yeah.
But I won't, by the way, at Helium on Tuesday.
Other places. Yeah. And it's so.
Yeah, no, I'll just cut back. That's all I'll do. I'll keep. George Burns was booked at 100. Come on.
I know. It's so funny. So funny. So now, do you have kids, Don?
Let me think. Yes.
How many kids do you have?
Just one. He's in college right now. He's a senior at Oregon State in computer science. I don't know what happened, but apparently I got a nerd kid.
I was going to say, do you think he'll follow in your comedy footsteps at all? No.
He is funny, but he's much shyer than I am. I was, even as an engineer, I was if there's such a thing, I was an outgoing engineer. He's shy.
He's shy.
No, I can't see him being a performer.
Does he think you're funny?
That's a good question. I know his friends think I'm funny. Yeah, he thinks I'm funny, but he won't tell me that.
That's awesome. And does Laura get to travel with you a lot?
The good ones. The good gigs. She did not come with me when I went to Bakersfield. I don't know why, but she did not. I
Yeah,
did.
true.
Do you do many corporates, Dina?
You know, it's funny. I actually be in the process of I do corporates, but I'm usually emceeing them.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started out emceeing Miss America due to that connection.
Oh, nice.
And then I emceed, MPI, Meeting Planners International.
Oh, yeah.
I emceed that for 5 years. And then I started getting a lot of gigs. So I saw a lot of keynotes and I, was like, oh, I should probably look into that. And just now I started to look at how to pitch like the NSA. And I was like, this is like just trying to get my page together, get my speeches together and see. But, I figure I could do women's conferences, entrepreneurial, obviously everything kind of, with funny in mind, sales conferences. We just do, I feel so much like you don't realize at the end of the day, comedy is sales. Whether you're pitching a joke or an idea, we have a board game, we tour around the country. So you do start to see, like being, and I sadly hear that, when it comes to corporate speaking, they're same as comedy, are not a lot of women doing it.
No, you're right. I hadn't thought about it, but you're right. Yeah.
So I do keep finding myself in careers where there is less female representation. And so I just joined, or I'm starting to join the NSA in Philly, the National Speakers Association. But if you have any tips, let me know. Cause I
was just going to say every now and then, yes, my wife travels, every now and then I'll get a great corporate gig, in Hawaii or the best. And this happened before 2008 was the death of great corporate gigs. Cause when the economy went south, a couple of companies had these high end, sales meetings, and it made the news. And they're not paying their stockholders any money, but they're paying $100,000 to a speaker, and that all bust. But before then, I did a gig in Bora Bora on the beach, and they put me up for a week. And I don't know how, but my wife got a week off of work that week to join me. I don't know why.
That's exciting.
But since then, I haven't gone anything nearly as cool. But you get some really good corporate gigs sometimes.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get my my foot in the door with all of that. It's been interesting. I don't think it's so different than stand up, other than judging.
It's kind of like, you're your own opener and your own middle act. And so you spend the first 15 minutes winning them over, because some of them don't even know they're seeing a comedian, so it's not like a comedy crowd. So you have to, I realized when I start, after I had like a following after America's Got Talent, and I walk out and everybody knows me, how easy that is. And by the way, all you comics who have you have no idea how hard we work. That's people who didn't, because we got to win over a crowd and prove and they just walk out and they're loved. Oh my God. But at a corporate, it's a job for the first 15 minutes. You got to go out there and do everything, and then it can get fun. So.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm gonna see where that kind of takes us next. So, so people can find you this. Is it Tuesday, March 25th?
Tuesday, yeah, next Tuesday.
25th. And are you kind of on a tour? Are you coming in from other?
I'm actually doing a corporate on Wednesday at the what's it called? The Future Food Industry Leaders. There's a group you want to perform for. It's actually, Seinfeld did that movie about Frosted. All the cereal companies are at this conference. It's all the people from all the food industries. But I know because I picked on Kellogg's and Post and all those last time I was there. But this is their future leaders. So I'm perhaps influencing the future of cereals. Obviously. So Seinfeld, take that. I can match you cereal for
good
cereal.
Work. Yeah, do good work for all of us. And anything on the horizon that we should be waiting for? What fun?
Nerd in me said, actually, the sun is on the horizon here in California. I just had a dry bar special come out, and then I don't know what else. I'm just on tour. I really am enjoying the live performances. I have a bunch of new bits in Philly. I've been in Philly. This is my third year in a row at Helium, because I play all the inert gases. I tell people that. Helium, argon, xenon. I do them all. And I have all new graphs and charts. Not all new, but I have a lot of new graphs and charts. I have a whole new analysis of movies and when they get the science wrong. I love doing that bit.
All right. So Tim Grill is a local comic here in Philly that I love. And he said, I opened for Don at the Cherry Hill Comedy Cabaret about 2 years ago.
I remember that. It was in, what was the Hyatt or right there on Route 70. I remember that gig.
Yeah.
And a lot of my old high school friends came and were just mercilessly heckling me. Yeah, you were nothing in high school.
Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, Don, thank you for getting up so early this morning.
I'm going back to bed now.
Yeah, you should. You should. And thank you for putting up with our opener, the dog, Ruby the dog. And I promise
too much slobber.
I'll be here actually when you get here.
Okay.
I promise.
All right, cool. And I'll find out where you actually live, not just somewhere in the state.
Right. Thank you. I'll be happy to share it with you.
Witness protection is really good nowadays.
It is. Well, somewhere near Cherry Hill West, that's where you go. You're the fire station.
I'll look for you outside the Wawa. I know that's where you'll be hanging out.
Exactly. All right. Well, make sure you check out Don's website, technicallyfunny.com, and follow him on all the socials. But thanks so much, Don, and safe travel.
Thank you, Dina.
You're
one funny mom.
Thanks. I'll see you. Bye-bye. He's adorable. Who doesn't love Don McMillan? He's such a lovely person. Do yourself a favor. Look up his clips. They're so funny. Look up the clip about him and him trying to figure out if his wife is right. It's really very funny. I can't believe that guys are having a problem with it. But he probably lives near Tim Hortons. Exactly. So check him out. We've had some great guests on this week. So kudos to sexy producer Michelle for putting that together. But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back on tomorrow morning and then bebopping down to Virginia to see my sister. So like Judy from Saskatoon and Good Time Andrea say, make sure you watch Don and get some funny in your life and you'll love him to death. So that's it. Have a great day and a blessed day, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more OneFunnyMother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out OneFunnyMotherStore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.